I'm Becky Dowd, and this is The Journey to Salvation. Join me as we walk alongside real people and hear the unique journeys that led them to faith in Jesus. My guest today is Clarence Baker. Hello, Clarence.
Hey, Becky.
How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming to share your story on the journey to salvation. And Clarence, one reason I wanted to have you on here was that I've noticed at some of the CR meetings that we go to on Thursday night, several of the guys make the comment, well, if Mr. Clarence can do it, I can do it. And so I'd never really heard your story, so I really wanted to learn your story, but also a little bit more about you. So can you just give us some background information on you, how it was growing up for you until you reached maybe the time you graduated?
Sure. I was born and raised in a small town called Palestine, just west of Forest City, and I had some really good parents. My mom and dad were married my whole life. I mean, until they passed away, of course. Just a great childhood, a loving family, a mother that probably loved me a little too much. She spoiled me rotten. But, just a normal life as a child, just in all the Cub Scouts, the baseball, the football, the basketball. And, man, we just went camping and on trips, just had a wonderful life. And my mom and dad always sent me to church. But they would always have me dressed up, and they'd put me outside for the church bus to pick me up. They both drank, but it was like a weekend thing. My dad drove a truck my whole life and his whole life, for like 43 years. And my mom was at Sanyo. So it was like a weekend thing. But they cussed and drank, but I never seen them. I mean, I never seen them argue. And, if I was in the room, I've got two brothers and a sister. And so we never heard them cuss and argue or nothing like that, which I guess they never did, but I don't know. But
so they put you on the bus to go to church, but they didn't go to church.
Right. Until about 10 years old, I went to the altar, gave my heart to Jesus, and that was at First Baptist Church in Forest City, a big church. And I went home, and I was all excited, and I begged my mom and dad to go to church, and they said they would. If we went to this little small country church in Palestine, they'd go with me. And, of course, we did. They both ended up getting saved. Wow. And that was cool. That was real cool. And so we stayed in that church, I guess, up till I was about 15. Of course, we still went to church, but I started hanging out with the older crowd. By the end, my dad was a song leader in church, and, of course, my mom took care of the church, and they just played a real big role in the church up until they both passed away. They was in that same church. But, of course, I veered left at about 15. Got introduced to meth. Well, first of all, of course, alcohol and marijuana for about probably a year or so. So I guess I started that at 14, but at about 15, I started hanging out with the older crowd and started doing methamphetamine on and off. And I guess that's really about the first time that I ever just started getting lost. And I ran away from God. Before that, I was in all the church plays and all the church functions and everything the church had going on. I was there, but at 15, I veered left and walked away from God completely.
So did you end up graduating high school after that, or what took place after you started the drug use? Okay.
Actually, I met a girl. Her mom was my high school principal. So she went to a different school in Cross County, but she would come to our school every now and then just to see her mom, and she'd be in the hallway, and we just kind of started talking, and, of course, we started dating. And this is about my 10th grade year, and so we dated through my 10th grade year through the 11th. In my senior year, I just started missing school, and I made straight A's all through school, and sometimes a B, but I made straight A's and B's through school, and I never missed a day of school until the 9th grade. I mean, I was that student to where I just was a good student, just a good kid. But anyway, I started doing meth, and got with her, and she didn't. I ended up we got pregnant about halfway through the 12th grade, and I quit high school. But I think it was in February of my last year in school. So about over halfway through the 12th grade, I quit. Of course, she continued on and graduated. She graduated high school pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Did you quit to go to work, or why did you quit?
Oh, no, I wasn't worried about work. I quit so I could do what I wanted.
Yeah.
I just had one love, and that was methamphetamine.
Mm-hmm. So then did y'all get married, did you say?
Yes, we got married in July of the same year. We were both 18. We both turned 18, and we got married. And I had my first son, Caleb, in October. And then I think it was 3 years later, on the same day, I had a girl. Her name is Caitlin. Mm-hmm. And they were born on her birthday.
Wow.
One was born on the 8th, her birthday, and one was born 4 hours late on the 9th. They would have both been born on her birthday.
Wow.
But I continued to, just to use drugs, alcohol, bad. And I was one of those that was very mean, mm-hmm. like drug induced, almost like psychosis. I was like very ugly and just bad. But we got married. We stayed married for about 7 years. We moved off to Idaho. I thought maybe that would help out, and it didn't. It took me about 2 weeks till I met my best friend up there, of course, mm-hmm. and he was into the same things, meth and pot and alcohol, and it was horrible. We stayed there about 2 years, and we both came back to Arkansas, and just ultimately it was over. It was over. Drugs had stepped in and took control of my whole life, and mm-hmm. that's all I was worried about. So she ended up leaving me.
So where did that take you from there?
I'd like to say I didn't care because I didn't, because I was married to methamphetamine. I was married to my addiction. Mm-hmm. I was one of those that wooed it. I dated it. I loved it. I would take care of it. I would hide it. I would just anything it took for me to get high mm-hmm. is what I would do. And then I started cooking meth, and that was really a different ball game. It was my whole life revolved around either doing drugs, cooking drugs, or getting the things to cook drugs with, mm-hmm. and that was my lifestyle. I just ran through it like crazy.
How many years did your drug addiction last?
About 34.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm 50 now, and it lasted till about 2019.
Yeah.
It started in 89, so.
Wow. So what are some things that happened along the way during those 34 years?
I met another woman. We fell in love, of course, and got married after about 2.5 years. By this time, I started going to jail, though. Mm-hmm. She got, of course, we got pregnant, and I went to jail, and I was in jail the whole time she was pregnant. I just got to watch her belly get bigger through pictures and mm-hmm. this and that. But I got out after about 8 months. My first time locked up. After about 8 months, I finally got out, and we got married like 3 days later. We went to Mountain View, Arkansas, and had my third child. Her name is Molly. And man, you would think that I would quit right then, that I would just walk away from it all, but I didn't. I continued to use drugs and sell drugs, and then I got busted at Mountain View about a year later. Mm-hmm. Ended up just fighting that case for a while. And in the meantime, May the 23rd of 2003, she was murdered in Palestine. Molly was 15 months old. And here I am with a daughter, an addiction, no wife. So my mother asked me to move back in with her, and of course I did. But I didn't slow down. Mm-hmm. See, my mindset was that the same woman that raised me, now we're living with her, and I know how she loved me and how much she loved Molly. So they kind of gave me like a crutch, maybe an excuse to I can do what I want, and I know she's taken care of,
right?
Which was nuts, but
yeah. So at any of those times, did you ever feel like you wanted to get help? That you wanted to stop using?
No, actually, for about 7 years, I used the murder of my wife as a crutch. Mm-hmm. You know, of course, you'd get high too if you went through what I went through.
Yeah.
So I used it for a crutch instead of getting the help I needed and doing this and that. Actually, I went to prison about. Molly was just a baby. I went my first time to prison. I guess I stayed 5 months, and it kind of opened up my eyes a little, just a tad bit. This was in 2004, I think. Mm-hmm. And I got home from prison the first time, and my daughter moved back in with me and my mom, you know, and it wasn't very long. I guess I got drunk that night, the night I got home from prison, and I don't think I reported to my parole officer the first month or anything, so I went right back to prison on a parole violation. Mm-hmm. I've been to prison, to Arkansas State Penitentiary, 15 times.
Wow.
In my adult life.
Wow. What's the longest amount of time that you were there at one time?
About 20 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they didn't give me a lot of time. Now, 10 of those were PVs, parole violations. Mm-hmm. So I would get out, stay out a month or two, go back and do 90 days. Stay out three or four months and go back and do maybe a year. Then I would get busted again and go back and do another year and a half. And, but all added up, not including the jail time, was a long time.
So those drugs were more important than having your freedom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Becky, I can't say that I didn't care. I didn't have a screw it attitude, or I don't give a crap attitude. I just had a screw it attitude. If I go to prison, so what? It's not that bad.
Yeah,
and that's the way I felt. You know, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'll just suffer the consequences, no matter who it hurts.
And you probably knew you were going to get back out and do the same things.
Well, sure. And until about 2012. I went to Wrightsville, and there was a guy there that had about 17 years left to do. And he had the best attitude, Becky. I mean, he was just this. I was actually in a treatment program in prison. And this guy, his name is Brian Kilo. I want to say it because I want people to. Mm-hmm. But he had the best attitude. He was like so cool, man. And what stood out most was he didn't cuss. He wasn't smoking cigarettes. He was just praising the Lord. And I was like, man, how can you be so happy, Brian? You have 17 years left. He said, man, because I've got God.
Wow.
He said, my mom comes to see me every Sunday. I've got God in my life. He said, and I know I'm going to heaven. I was like, man, that's nuts. That's nuts. And he became my best friend there. Mm-hmm. And he got me to going back to church. I went to church the whole time I was there, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool, you know? This is how I was raised. Mm-hmm. To love people and to praise God and to read my word and just live life. Even though I was locked up, that's probably the first time I was ever locked up and it was free. Mm-hmm. I was probably more free there for that year and a half. Well, I know I was more free there for that year and a half than I ever was in the streets before. After I started getting high.
So what happened when you were released from then?
Huh?
Should I ask?
No, you shouldn't. I think I reported to my parole officer that first time, that like the next day when you get out, but I'm pretty sure, it's hard to remember, but I'm pretty sure I didn't go back and see him the next month. And that's just what I did. I would get out, go see him the first time, and then he would have to come to my house and find me to catch me because I was getting high.
Yeah. So what was your turning point in 2019 that really turned you around?
Okay, in 20, Peggy, this is crazy. In 2017, I went to RPF, which is it's kind of like a maximum security rehab, but it's part of the Arkansas, corrections.
Right.
You go there for 9 months, and it's like really, really strict. You have to go to classes all day, and it's really strict. Well, I went there, and oh man, God just started showing me and reminding me who He is. And I knew I was called to preach. I knew I was called to share God's word. And in 2017 at RPF, they have church twice a day. In the mornings at 5, and then at 7 at night. And I started going every morning, every evening. And then it wasn't very long. They started asking me if I would like to do a Bible study with them, like start leading one once a week. And of course, they gave me Fridays.
So was this a state?
Yes.
And they had church twice a day?
Twice a day, yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I started leading a thing on Fridays. And we was in this classroom because you had to have at least 50 people come before you could go to the sanctuary. They had a big, nice sanctuary, but you could only go there if you had at least 50 men to show up for church. And man, it started happening. And while we were there, about 7 or 8 guys, 7 of us men would get up there and sing like a little choir. And before you know it, we had like 12 guys that would get up there and sing every Friday morning like a choir, and it was pretty good. And this is kind of nuts, but the warden comes by one day. He says, "Hey, y'all sound pretty good." I said, "We'd be even better if we could get out and practice." He said, "Well, I'll be right back." And he goes to the booth and he talks to them, and he said, "Hey, I got y'all choir practice twice a week, Tuesday nights and Thursday nights." I'm like, "For real?" Good. He said, "Yes. Y'all get out for an hour, go to the room and practice your choir." Well, one night he just happened to be there, and he comes by there, and here we are practicing, and he goes, "Man, y'all are really good." He said, "I'll tell you what, y'all get just a tad bit better, and if y'all can get someone to invite you to their church, I'll let you go." I'm like, "Do what?" You would let us leave? He goes, "Yeah. If you can get these guards to invite you to their churches."
Oh, wow.
On Sunday mornings, we'll let you go. I'm like, man, that's crazy. I mean, they opened up the back doors of the prison and let 13 of us get in this van.
It had to be with one of the guards, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of their churches, and they were there too.
Yes. So, but it started happening. Before I know it, he's coming to me and he's like, "Clarence, look, hey, Blythe want you to come sing for them. Osceola want you to come sing for them." All these churches just started inviting us, and he had to start scheduling us to go out and.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, it was the greatest time, But like I said, I started doing instead of doing a lesson on Friday mornings, I actually just started getting a sermon ready. And before you know it, there was like 125 guys that would show up every Sunday. I mean every Friday morning at 7 o'clock before the day started to come to church. And then before you know it, the guards started coming. They would actually come in there and have church with us. And it was just this, wow. I think God was just showing me what He wanted me to do. And I was like, but God, look, how can I, 30-year IV drug user, I don't speak plain. I stutter sometimes. I mumble. I talk real fast when I'm like, how can I do this? But He just made it clear to me that He wanted me to spread His word. That He wanted me to be His hands and feet when I got out. So I kind of did until I started getting high again. And about 2018, I moved to Fayetteville, Well, actually, I went to a halfway house, and when I was getting out of prison, Becky, this crazy thing happened. This guy had this man's card, and it had Sam Watley on it. He said, when you get to the halfway house, call this man. He'll come out and get you and carry you to Walmart, and just a good guy. He's a preacher, and I got out Friday, and Saturday morning, this little short bald-headed guy comes through, and I'm all sweaty. I used to work out. It's obvious now that I don't, but I used to love to work out. And he come through the halfway house, walking through, just happy. And he's like, "Hey, man, you want to go to the river and have some church and see some guys get baptized?" I'm like, "No, not really. I'm working out. I'm about to get on the jump rope or whatever." And he's like, "There's going to be lots of food." And when he said that, he had me. So anyway,
he knew that too, didn't he?
I'm guessing he did. Yes. So he tells me to get in the black Suburban out back, and I just changed clothes and went and jumped in the Suburban, and he finally comes out, and he turned around, he stuck his hand out and said, "Hi, I'm Sam Watley." I'm like, you was going to be the first person I called today. He goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah, a guy gave me your card, dude, in prison, and told me if I made it to Springdale, Arkansas, which is a huge town." He said, "Look this guy up." And I said, "What's the chances, man, of you being the guy that come and pick me up today?" Just out of the blue, Anyway, we got to talking, and he got to crying, and I got to crying, and we got to the lake, and he's just so excited. He was so excited, Becky, because he called his wife over, and he said, "Carlene, come here." She's like, "Sam, I'm making a sandwich." He's like, "No, Carlene, come here. This is the man we're praying for." She's like, when he said that, she looked at me, and she just dropped her sandwich. And she come over and sat with me. We got to talking. We was all three crying and this and that. And I ended up telling my story there that day at the lake. And he said, "Man, I'm baptizing 7 people today." He said, "I'd love for you to be number 8.
Oh, wow.
So he ended up baptizing me in Beaver Lake up there. And it was beautiful. And we became best friends. And I got high. He was the first person. Well, actually, he called me. He said, "Clarence, your PO, your parole officer's calling me. What's going on?" I was like, he said, "Where you at? I'll come get you." So he come and got me, and it's this huge park, and he parked all the way on the other side of this park and makes me walk to him. When I get in the truck, he looks at me, and all he could say was, "I bet that was a long walk, wasn't it?" And we laughed, and he took me home and fed me, and I had stayed out all night from the halfway house, and they knew I was going to call him. So he calls my PO, I call my PO, and he makes an appointment with me. And then he said, "You've got to call the guy at the halfway house." He said, "He's probably going to make you leave, and if he does, you're going back to prison." I was like, "I get that." I called the guy at the halfway house, and he said, "I don't know why I'm doing this." He said, "The first time since I've opened," he said, "I've never let anyone stay after getting high and leaving for the night." He said, "But for some reason, I'm going to let you stay." And of course, me and Sam knew it was God.
Yeah.
And, you'd think I'd be so grateful and I would realize what was going on. Just several weeks later, I went out, stayed out again past curfew. This time I was just drinking. And I come in, and they kick me out, put me in jail. Man, I was so embarrassed. I mean, I was so ashamed. I had let Sam and Carlene down, and so Sam comes and sees me in jail. And when he comes and sees me in jail, I said, "Sam, I have no idea where I'm going when I get out, this and that." And he said, "I do. You're coming to my house." I'm like, "Do what?" He said, "I want you to come live with me and Carlene. We have an extra bedroom. You can parole out to my house." He said, "Bro, we're in this. I told you I loved you. You're my brother. We're in this to the end." He said, "Your family." So, and it was great. I got out of prison, of course, and I went to SSP. That's a 60-day program for parole violators. It's still part of the prison, And when I got out, I went and lived with them, and I met another woman. Her name was Karen, and she is about 10 years older than me. kind of ashamed to say this, but I'll just say it. She was like really, really high, like kind of high class, you'd say. She made well up into almost $200,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Just a big, beautiful home, and she's like elegant. That's it. She's just elegant to the T, you know. And she, so it's kind of like a maybe cat and mouse thing to see if I could
catch her.
Pull her up. Yes, yes. See if I could catch her. I did. She fell in love with me, and I used her. Moved in with her, and I thought I was going to be happy. Big, beautiful home, brand new cars in the garage, you know, but it didn't. I started getting high again.
What year is this?
2019.
Okay.
And she, of course, divorced me.
So y'all married?
Yes, we married for about 6 months till she seen right through me. I was hiding in the bathroom, getting high. Was actually on the board of directors at a ministry in Fayetteville. I mean, really had it nice. Mm-hmm. But once again, I chose methamphetamine over my family, over my church. And I forget, okay, I'm still facing the charges. She takes me to court. The court was actually going to review my cases and drop all of my fines. They said, you're doing good. You know, you're in the ministry up there. You're doing good. We've heard great things about you. We see your Facebook post, and all your Facebook looks great nowadays. Just come to court, and we'll take away all your misdemeanor fines. Child support had just given me my license back, and I was $87,000 behind child support. But that was almost 16 years in prison, so that it still added up, you know. Things are going great for me. I'm going to court this day to actually get all my fines taken care of. The judge said he would just drop them if I would show up and he could see my face. But I had other plans. I had drugs in my pocket. I was going to try to sell 7 grams of meth in Mountain View to some friends of mine. They was going to meet me before court, and I was going to give them the drugs. But praise God, I fell asleep in the car that day. And my wife pulls me up into the parking lot of the courthouse, goes in and tells them, hey, he's here. He's just asleep in the car. When she said that, red flags went off all over the courthouse.
Yeah.
Why is he asleep in the car at 8 in the morning and you can't wake him up? So I wake up and they're beating on the glass, and it's the parole office and the cops. They make me get out. Of course, they handcuff me. They go in my pockets and they pull out the drugs that I was going to do that day, not to sell. I actually made it inside the jail with the 7 grams of dope. I put the dope under my mat for about 2 days. Then I looked at it on the 3rd day and I said, this ain't for me. And I got rid of it. I disposed of it. I went to Messiah Ministries. Messiah Ministries come and bonded me out in Pocahontas. Mm-hmm. And I stayed there for a while. Then I went to be the house dad at the Agape House. It's a recovery center. As staff. I just moved straight in as staff. Had these charges that were pending. I moved in there, and I was over the men's house, and Bonnie, of course, was over the women's house. And here I am once again in the ministry. God is blessing me, blessing me, blessing me.
Now, you didn't tell us who Bonnie was. You skipped that.
No, I'm about to tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
So Bonnie's over the women's house, and she, of course, we keep getting to where we see each other. She's my wife.
Yes.
And she's probably by far the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. But, of course, when I meet her, you know, she's strictly business and I'm strictly business. And we started talking and dating, and we eventually compromised our relationship with the Lord, and we moved in with each other. Mm-hmm. not married. She left the women's house. I left the men's house. Had a nice small apartment in Corning, Arkansas, and we compromised. I had been clean now for 19 months, right at 2 years at this time.
Wow.
And moved in there, and people just begged me to drink beer with them. And I'm like, no. A friend of mine at work, he'd come by the house, and, man, have one beer with me. And for about 7 months, I said, no, I'm not having a beer. I'm just not. Mm-hmm. Well, one day I did. And then it was 2 beers, 3 beers, pint of whiskey. And before you know it, I'm coming home and I'm staying in the bathroom for 2 hours at a time because I've gotten some drugs at work. Mm. This happened for about a month and a half, I guess. Bonnie's not stupid. She told me that if I wanted to waste my life again and drink and do drugs, I can, but she's not going to be there. Mm-hmm. So she left me. And I continued to get high and drink, waiting on my court day to come up from when I fell asleep in Mountain View. It's been like 19 months. It's kind of an old charge, but if you're in rehab, they kind of put it off until they kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And they offered me probation. I was all excited. Well, I get so excited that I go catch another charge in Jonesboro. When I'm getting high, if I'm getting high, I'm selling drugs to get high for free. Mm-hmm. So I'm selling drugs again. Got busted in Jonesboro. But I'm working now. When I'm at the Agape House, I actually got a pretty good work ethic going. I'm getting high and working now, so I've stepped my game up. That's right. But I got busted there, bonded out. People in Mountain View found out about it, and they took my probation away and promised me that I was going to prison for 6 years. They said there's no possible way that they were dropping these charges. Well, my lawyer gives me the wrong court date, so I missed court. Thank God. Again, God has blessed me so much, Becky. I mean, He has blessed me tremendously in ways that I thought were punishments at the time that have been the biggest blessings in my life. I go to jail because I missed a court date. I got stopped. They arrested me, took me to Mountain View. I sat there for about 2 months. And Josh Ramsey, the peer recovery specialist up there, we became kind of friends. He had a class every Thursday night, and we became friends. And he asked me I asked him about going to rehab. And he asked me, he said, well, if you've been clean for 19 months, except for these last 2 or 3 months, do you think you need rehab? I'm like, probably not, but I do need the accountability. I need to be somewhere because if I leave here, I'll be high next week. Mm-hmm. I need to go somewhere he said, so how long do you want to stay? I said, at least a year. And he told me about this place called Steering Straight Recovery Ranch. It's in Forest City. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been gone from Forest City since 2001. So for about 20 years, I was gone to Mountain View and to Springdale, and I said, man, Forest City, that's where I'm from. He's like, yeah, I know. He said, there's another place called Breaking Bonds in Jonesboro. Bonnie's in Paragould, like 20 minutes away. So I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer. That's where I'm going. Mm-hmm. I said, Forest City, I ain't lost nothing there, And he told me about the place. It's a ranch, and they got horses. I'm like, no, sign me up for Jonesboro. I'm going to Jonesboro where I can see Bonnie. She ain't got to drive 3 hours to visit me, And on the way back to my barracks, to the jail cell that night, God made it plain and clear. I mean, He spoke to me loud and clear. He said, you need to go to Forest City. So when I was on the phone with Bonnie, I said, Bonnie, what do I do? I want to go to Jonesboro. She goes, okay, what's the problem? I said, I distinctly heard God tell me to go to Forest City. She's like, but that's like a 2.5 hour drive, I said, okay, just call Josh in the morning. I said, but I'm telling you, God said to go to Forest City. We had no idea how the visits was, and we had already planned on getting married, and She said, okay. She said, you just come to Jonesboro. We'll get married at Breaking Bonds. We'll do it right, And I said, okay. So the next morning, I hadn't heard from her. She hits the kiosk and said, call me ASAP. Josh needs to know where you want to go. So I called her. I was like, Bonnie, I thought we made up our mind last night. I was coming to Jonesboro. She said, God told me that you're going to Forest City too. I was like, she said, she's such a good woman. She said, God made it plain to me that no matter what we want, if it's 2 years before I can see you, a year before I can see you, if you can't call me, if you can't visit me, she said, the end result is going to be the best because I prayed about it, baby. She said, God wants you to go to Forest City. I know that. So I did. And I met the director the next, so I get out of jail. I go to Forest City to Steering Straight, and I meet Rick Martin. Never heard of him, never seen him, never heard of Steering Straight Recovery Ranch, and he was just a great man. And he just happened to have a cancer treatment the next day in Jonesboro. I was like, that's kind of cool. Bonnie's in Paragould. He said, why don't you just have Bonnie meet us at the hospital, the cancer center, and hey, we'll just have breakfast, and I get to meet her, and they hit it off. Him and Bonnie hit it off, and he let it be known that he trusts her. He just don't trust me yet, and I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talked, Becky, and we talked, and after about 2 months, he said, okay, I'm just going back. Just one, like I said, they had promised me prison. Mountain View promised me 6 years. And then I got busted after that in Jonesboro. And Jonesboro said, you are going to the penitentiary. There is no way you're walking away from this. So I had court in November in Mountain View, and I was going to prison. I had already bought boxers. I had bought T-shirts. I had bought my toothpaste. I had got my Bible ready. I was getting ready to go to court. And I said, Rick, I'd like to marry Bonnie before I go to prison. He said, you give me 3 good months. This is in June. He said, and I'll let you marry her. I said, okay. So I didn't know it at the time. He said, give me 3 good months. And that was, like I said, that was September. Mr. Rick got sick. He went septic. And he went to the hospital, and he was there for 7 weeks before he passed. He never got to come back home. But Miss Cherry found his notebook where he had written that down. I said, yes. Rick said, you could do it, you can do it. So me and Bonnie ended up getting married. We have a big ranch house where all the guys stay. At the time, there wasn't but 4 of us. Now there's 15 of us. But
wow,
yeah, it's a cool story. But me and Bonnie moved down into a camper. They got little campers lined up, so people that want to be married or have wives that come after 6 months, they can move to a camper, from the ranch house to a camper. And me and Bonnie was like the second couple that's done this. And after we get married, man, my lawyer calls me and tells me that Mountain View has offered me 6 years. I said, I already knew that. I said, but Becky, listen, I don't feel comfortable signing for 6 years. She says, what do you mean? 6 years in RPF is only 12 months, a year flat. I was like, and I get that, Miss. That's my lawyer, Miss Tammy. I was like, Miss Tammy, I just don't feel comfortable signing this. So she asked me, so you're not going to sign these papers? You want to fight this? I'm like, no, I'm not going to fight it, but I'm just telling you, go ask him one more time. I said, I'm not the same person I was when I got busted. It had been like 2.5 years. I said, I'm not the same person. She says, I'll ask one more time. She just hangs up the phone on me because she's tired of me. She calls me back and said that they offered me probation, 5 years probation, after promising me they wasn't.
Wow.
So, of course, I'm happy and I'm just elated, and I'm waking up. I'm like, now I still have these charges in Jonesboro. What's Jonesboro going to do? So I called that lawyer. He's like, I don't know. Miss Calloway says that you're probably going to prison. That she just can't see herself letting you off these charges. I said, well, Mountain View just gave me probation. He said they did. because she was going to run that concurrent with whatever they gave me. I said, well, she promised me she's going to run it concurrent with what Mountain View did. I said, they gave me probation. He said, no way. He said, let me check into this. So he did. And he sends me, I get an email about a month and a half later. I get an email saying that they've dropped all charges in Craighead County also.
Wow. And
I said, well, Miss Terry, that's not right. Bonnie, that's not right. They don't drop charges through an email. So I call my lawyer, and the receptionist is like, Clarence Baker. She types me up. She said, oh, he's no longer your lawyer. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, Mr. Baker, all your charges have been dismissed.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm like, so that's a real thing? That paper was real? She said, yeah. She said, but here, you can talk to him anyway. She puts me through, and all my charges had been dropped. I knew at that time that I was where I was supposed to be, doing what I was supposed to be doing. The ranch and the church both asked me if I would stay and take the pastor role over at Steering Straight Recovery Ranch. Mm-hmm. And of course, I said yeah. At the same time, they asked me if I would consider being an elder of the church. I'm the youngest elder of the church, Rusty Nails Cowboy Church. If I would consider being an elder of the church, being ordained through the association. And of course, let me pray about it. And me and Bonnie, we got into deep prayer, and I said yes. And I asked Miss Cherry if she would think about expanding Steering Straight. We had room for 5 guys. Now we have 15. And she said, no, probably not. This is the way Rick designed it, and he wanted to keep it real small umbrella. And she was scared that how was she going to do it without Rick? So we promised her that we would go every step of the way with her. Mm-hmm. And so she went to the church, and we doubled the beds up. The phone calls started coming in, and we went from 5 to 15 just almost overnight.
Wow.
Nothing to do with me. It's all God.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was just.
It's good that that's there, but it's sad that it's needed,
Yes.
But I do see, and I just see the guys once a week, but they all seem to be very tight-knit and really encourage each other and just really seem like they're there for each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a great group of guys. Especially right now, I can say we've had one of the greatest groups just all around than we've had in a long time. Mm-hmm. Most of them are saved. Most of them have been baptized. Mm-hmm. They make it real easy.
So what do you think, what do you say to them? Because some of them are going through the same thing you went through for those 30-plus years. How do you encourage them in their sobriety? And
one of the biggest things is for the men when they get there is most of them have children that are not speaking to them or that they haven't seen. And, of course, I went through the same thing. My kids told me, you're not our dad anymore. Mm-hmm. They wrote me letters to my idiot father. I mean, I was in prison and got these letters. And
because they had become adults during that time that you were on drugs and in prison. And
I watched all 3 of them grow up in pictures.
Yeah.
But God is so much bigger than that. Mm-hmm. And there's something going on that makes us want to get high, that keeps us bound in that prison, of addiction. Mm-hmm. And they all got their, they all see Jesus as this good guy, this, on Christmas, he becomes real all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. It's his birthday, and the gifts are good. It's the joyous time of the year. Let's be good to each other. Let's love each other. But they don't see Jesus as who he really is. Our Savior, our friend, and our refuge and our fortress. They see it around them that God's doing so much for the guys around them, but he's just like me. Yeah, but he'll never do it for me. I mean, I know that he can. I mean, of course he probably can. He's God, Mm-hmm. But will he? And then, so I just encourage them to read their Bible, listen on Sunday mornings instead of going to church and being distracted by this and that, to listen to what Brother Hillman is preaching, listen to the Word, take every bit of it in, pray about it, and just ask God to open their heart to Him, because we have to receive Him, or He's always going to be that little genie or Santa Claus,
Well, and they're at a fairly safe place while they're at Steering Straight, and so, it's sometimes easy to be good there. Yes. And say the right things and do the right things. And so you're really looking at, after they leave there, where they're going to be spiritually.
Yes. And that's how you see the fruit of your program. Mm-hmm. Is what are these guys doing once they leave?
Yeah.
Are they out doing Bible studies and going to meetings? Are they leaders by now? Or
are they going back to what they were doing? Yeah.
And sad to say, a lot of them go back to what they're doing.
So are most of the guys that go to Steering Straight, it sounds like a lot of them have served prison time. Is that accurate?
Probably the biggest part have been in prison, yes. Mm-hmm. And some of them actually get to pro to us from prison, where, we are ACC approved, so they can actually use us as a pro plan. So like some of the guys, like we know that are going to prison, we kind of know that they're coming there when they get out, because, we also do the jail ministry in St. Francis County. Mm-hmm. So some of the guys we know, like from the jail that are headed off, we're like, look, let us know when it's time for you to come home. You can come still be part of our program. And
it's been neat hearing some of their stories of how, a lot of them just are really thankful for Steering Straight, giving them that chance.
Yes.
And hopefully in all that, I know that they're giving credit to Steering Straight, but we hope that they give credit to Jesus for all that.
Yes.
For getting them there and getting them in that environment. And because they're there a whole year, is that right?
Yes, 12 months.
Yeah. So what do you see yourself doing? Right now you're involved in, you said you're the pastor at Steering Straight?
Yes, ma'am.
And what does that entail?
Well, actually it's...
because you have another job.
Yes.
You have a real job during the week.
Yeah, I do. I work for the county, San Francisco County Road Department. I run TRACO for them. But as soon as I get off...
So you're there on the premises?
Yes, Becky. I left this part out, but, me and Bonnie lived in that camper for right at 2 years. Mm-hmm. Some property came up for sale that, touched the church property. Mm-hmm. The church bought it. And one of the preachers sent me a picture of a double wide trailer and asked me if they could buy it for me, and set me up on house payments. Mm-hmm. They would get it set. They would get it moved, set it up right there. It's a beautiful home, and gave me 2 lots of land right there. As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, living for God and in the ministries and stuff. And so I actually signed like a 10-year contract with them because they bought this house, and we set it up on a 10-year payment plan, which is Becky's unheard of to own a home in 10 years. And if I decide that I don't want to be there after 5, man, they're actually giving me equity on it.
Oh, wow.
So the first year I get 10%, second year 20, third 30, up to 10 years 100%. So if I want to sell it back to them or move, they'll give me 100% of what I paid for it, which is unheard of.
They really want you there, don't they? They see your value in that program and part of that church.
I'd like to say that, yeah, but I don't want to say that. I hope so, but I guess so. And me and Cherry Martin and Bonnie became best friends. She's not just our director; she is truly a friend to us. And she said she'd be lost without us, but we'll be lost without her too.
Yeah, the guys really seem to look up to her and respect her.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
she is amazing.
I need to get her in here and let her tell her story.
Yes.
So you see yourself staying there for a while, or what do you see yourself going from?
Well, until I'm too old. We actually love it. We're like right on the outskirts of Forest City out there, right? Mm-hmm. One side of my house connects to the church land, and one side of my house connects to Steering Straight, which there's woods between me and the ranch house. So we get our little bit of privacy, you know what I mean? And we're just far enough down the hill to where it's like, we don't just like live right beside the guys,
right?
But maybe 100 yards from them,
right?
And we love it.
So I guess when I get Cherry on here, I'll get her to explain how Steering Straight works as far as the everyday, daily activities and that sort of thing. But because I know all the guys have jobs,
yes,
and they're required to work after the first month, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I've been in a couple. I think since I've been going to the Celebrate Recovery meetings for the last, I guess, 5 or 6 months. I don't know how long I've been going, but I have seen some of those guys graduate from Steering Straight.
Yes,
and it's almost. I mean, it's exciting that they're graduating because most of those guys don't live locally; they live somewhere else, and so they're going back to that home. Yes. But it's almost kind of sad because I haven't really gotten to know them well, just to see them leave. But I know that that's the goal, is for them to graduate and move on. Do you have a favorite Bible verse?
I do.
Okay. What's your Bible verse?
My favorite Bible verse is, of course, Jeremiah 29:11, where he says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord, plans for a future and a hope, not for evil." But I think my favorite part is the next two, where he talks about when you chase me with your whole heart, and you pray and you believe in me with everything you have, that's when I'll see you. We always want to tell people 29:11, but we never get down to the part where he says, when you look for me wholeheartedly, when you search with me with everything you have, then I'll see your prayers. You know what I mean? We want to tell them, oh, God's got you. You look for him wholeheartedly.
Yes, that's right. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you too, Becky.
Thank you for joining us today. Check out our website at thejourneytosalvation.com. You will find additional information as well as a way to connect to us. And don't forget to subscribe. You'll be notified when new podcasts are available.